Happy Monday, Bears fans. Let's dive right into some of the biggest storylines buzzing around Chicago right now, because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the Bears stadium situation and some interesting moves happening behind the scenes with ownership. Plus, we got some leaks about training camp dates for the upcoming 2025 season. So if you're a Bears fan, buckle up because this could impact the future of the franchise in a big way. So here's the thing that's really stirred the pot lately. The Chicago Bears are reportedly exploring the sale of a minority stake in the team. Yeah, you heard that right. Minority ownership shares could be changing hands soon. And when you connect the dots with the ongoing stadium saga, it starts to make a lot more sense why this is happening now. The report came through Bloomberg, and it's got everyone talking. According to the article, the team is looking into selling the minority interest that was previously owned by Andrew McKenna Sr., who unfortunately passed away in 2023. This isn't just a small footnote in team history. This could end up playing a huge role in how the Bears finance a brand new stadium. To manage the potential sale, the Bears have brought in Galatioto Sports Partners, a well-known firm that deals with these types of sports ownership transactions. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The Hallis McCaskey family, along with team investor Pat Ryan, reportedly have a right of first refusal on any ownership changes, meaning they could choose to buy this minority stake themselves before it goes to anyone else. But with NFL franchise value skyrocketing lately, there's a good chance that the price tag on this 2% ownership share could be so high that even the current stakeholders might pause before jumping in. And that's really the big headline here. NFL team valuations are booming, like we're talking absolutely massive numbers. Just to put into perspective, Forbes recently valued the Chicago Bears at about $6.4 billion. And let's be honest, if the team actually went on the open market today, it probably wouldn't sell for anything less than $7 or even $8 billion. These prices just keep going up thanks to new media deals, increased revenue sharing, rising salary caps, and the general explosion of interest in the NFL both domestically and internationally. So what does that mean for this 2% slice that's up for grabs? Well, quick math here, 2% of $6.4 billion puts you at about $128 million. But when you factor in market demand and the general inflation of NFL franchise values, it wouldn't shock anyone if that piece ends up selling for something closer to $150 or even $200 million. That's a significant chunk of cash, and for a team that's still trying to figure out how to pay for a multi-billion-dollar stadium project, that kind of money could make a real difference. And let's not forget the new league rules that just came into play recently. In 2024, the NFL officially opened the door for private equity firms to buy stakes in franchises. This is a huge development. Historically, NFL ownership was super exclusive, and you couldn't just have random investment groups owning pieces of teams. But now, teams like the Bears could turn to private equity investors to raise capital quickly without having to rely solely on individual wealthy buyers. We've already seen smaller market teams like the Cincinnati Bengals struggle with cash flow in the past, and this rule change was partly designed to help teams like that stay competitive in free agency, pay signing bonuses, and invest in facilities. So here's the million-dollar question, or in this case, maybe the $200 million question. Could this minority share sale be part of a bigger strategy to help fund the new stadium? It sure feels like it. If you're the Bears, and you're trying to scrape together every possible dollar for a project that's going to cost billions, selling off a small percentage of the franchise could be a smart way to do it, especially if you find an investor willing to pump some of that money directly into the stadium build. Now, just to be clear, none of this is confirmed. But when you look at the timing, with the stadium discussions dragging on and the tax break negotiations still unresolved, the dots start to connect. The Bears have been pushing for tax incentives from the state to help cover the costs of the new stadium, and that part of the process has hit some serious roadblocks. More on that in a bit. But first, just imagine this scenario. A new minority owner comes in, drops $200 million for a small piece of the franchise, and the Bears turn around and allocate, say, $100 million of that directly towards stadium funding. That could jumpstart construction plans and help close the gap in financing, especially with legislative uncertainty still looming. Speaking of the legislative side, let's talk about the latest developments on that front, because things have been complicated, to say the least. The Illinois legislative session recently wrapped up, and unfortunately for Bears fans hoping for some movement, the bill that would have helped the team on the tax front didn't even make it to a vote. That's right, not only did it not pass, it didn't even get that far in the process. And that's not a great sign for anyone hoping to see construction equipment breaking ground anytime soon. Now, according to Mary Beth Canny, a state representative from Illinois, the Bears were actually pretty close to getting the bill over the line before the session ended. Her exact words were that they just ran out of time, which sounds like they were scrambling toward the finish, but couldn't quite get it done before the legislative calendar closed. The next legislative session isn't until the fall, probably September, which means there's now a pretty long gap before any new vote could happen. That delay could have major ripple effects on the stadium timeline. Kevin Warren, the Bears president and CEO, has been pretty vocal and consistent about his goal of getting shovels in the ground in 2025. But here we are in mid-June, halfway through the year, and with the next legislative window not opening until the fall, the math is starting to work against that timeline. Sure, there's always the outside chance that the Bears could start preliminary work on the stadium based on a handshake agreement or with confidence that the legislation will eventually pass, but that's a risky move. If the tax breaks don't get approved later, the Bears could find themselves on the hook for even more costs than they're already anticipating. Let's be real here. Large construction projects like this require a ton of financial clarity and certainty. No one wants to start pouring concrete without knowing exactly where the funding is coming from. And with the Bears looking to relocate to the suburbs, likely Arlington Heights or another nearby area, it gets even more politically complicated. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below.
The NFL odds buzzing with electrifying rumor that recent shockwaves from fans and analysts alike. The Chicago Bears are reportedly in talks to acquire none other than Josh Allen, the sensational quarterback from the Buffalo Bills. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the mere possibility of Allen donning the Bears' iconic navy and orange jersey has sparked a frenzy of speculation and excitement across the league. Josh Allen, known for his powerful arm, mobility, and leadership on the field, has been the cornerstone of the Bills' resurgence in recent years. Under his guidance, Buffalo transformed into a perennial playoff contender, consistently thrilling fans with his dynamic play style and clutch performances. His ability to extend plays and deliver deep throws has made him one of the most feared quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, the prospect of Allen potentially moving to Chicago, a city hungry for a franchise quarterback since the days of legends, has become the hottest topic of conversation. Sources close to the situation suggest that the Bears are exploring bold moves to elevate their offense and return to glory. With a quarterback carousel that has since then struggled to find consistency, Chicago's front office may view Allen as the missing piece to their puzzle. The trade talks are said to be in early stages, but the rumors have already ignited hopes among Bears fans desperate for a new era of competitiveness. On the flip side, Buffalo Bills supporters are holding their breath, knowing that losing Allen would be a massive blow to their championship aspirations. The Bills have built a formidable team around Allen's talents, including a strong offensive line and dynamic receivers. Letting go of their star quarterback would signal a dramatic shift in strategy, raising questions about the team's future direction. While some analysts doubt such a blockbuster trade could materialize given Allen's value and contract status, others argue that the NFL landscape is unpredictable and that franchises are willing to take big risks to secure elite talent. If the Bears do manage to pull off this deal, it would instantly reposition them as a major force in the NFC North and potentially the entire league. As the rumor mill continues to sure, all eyes will remain fixed on both Chicago and Buffalo. Will the Bears manage to snag Josh Allen and rewrite their destiny? Or is this just another tantalizing what if in the high-stakes chess game of NFL trades? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the NFL offseason just got a whole lot more interesting. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.